Hey everybody, it's PDubs. Thanks as always for hanging out upstairs with us and for checking out the channel. And on today's episode, we're going to review some new products for modding for your Arcade1Up Terminator 2 cabinet from Szabo's Arcades. We have a new translucent marquee. We also have his Midway Stickers package to get those logos added that Arcade1Up left off the original cabinet, as well as we have that super sweet Terminator 2 topper for the arcade machine as well. The first thing we're going to look at is the Arcade1Up Terminator Midway decals. This is a set of 3 decals. The red Midway logos go on the sides of the cabinet near the top corners where the original Midway logos were on the original arcade. And then a white Midway decal that'll go right above the Terminator 2 logo, the T2 logo on the kickplate. This does retail for $35. Alright, right here we have the Terminator 2 Acrylic Marquee replacement designed by Szabo's Arcades. This is fantastic. This is a simple drop-in replacement for the stock Arcade1Up Acrylic Marquee. This thing is reverse printed to perfection. Definitely no light bleed. The blacks are going to look black instead of being washed out like stock Arcade1Up stuff. You have the original printing on the bottom of the marquee. You have the Midway logo. The shotgun is in the appropriate size and area, as well as Arnold himself is sized appropriately and colored appropriately to match the original marquee. This is fantastic. Can't wait to put it in. And here she is, Joe's custom Arcade1Up acrylic Terminator topper for your Terminator 2 cabinet. Oh my god, even with a good camera and good lighting here, it still looks even better than this in person. It's absolutely fantastic of a print. He does sell 2 versions of these. There's a version that's just the acrylic with the strip on the bottom that you can simply mount on top of your arcade cabinet. That retails for $70. Or if you want to get the version with this backlight, which is really cool, nice encased backlight strip, the acrylic with the backlight is $100. So this is a costly topper, but definitely something to be proud of sitting on top of your arcade machine. I mean, this thing is, it's just fantastic. Let's go ahead and get this stuff all mounted. If you decide to go with the lighted topper, you will get 3 cables with the topper. The first one is your little AC adapter power plug right here, as well as you'll get this little extra extension cable. That little USB, micro USB, that is what plugs into the light bar behind the marquee to power it, and obviously everything kind of plugs in and extends. And then, of course, right here you have a third one. Now, what's really cool about this is a nice little dimmer switch, so you can have that this lighted acrylic marquee as bright as you want or as dim as you want in your arcade and gaming room. So this is pretty cool. Obviously, this thing is going to be plugged in, and you have to flip that switch to power it on. However, if you are smart enough, if you want to, and if you have some extra Y splitters inside the cabinet, technically you could get this wired to the power switch in your cabinet as well. Before I stick this on my Arcade1Up machine, I'm going to do some various light testing with that dimmer switch. This is obviously in a well-lit room, and we're going to crank up that dimmer switch all the way from low to high. We're going to keep kind of moving it back and forth along the slider so you can see how this lights up, obviously in a well-lit room. Now let's go ahead and turn all the lights off, and let's kind of see what this looks like in a dark room, which is kind of more similar to what your arcade is going to be like. Hold on there, my finger slipped on the trigger. But as you can see, you can kind of adjust this up and down. If you see a red dot kind of above his forehead, that's the red recording light from my camera. That's not the artwork or anything. But take a look at this, man. This thing looks fantastic. And I'm thinking at right around the light being at 50% is when it looks the best. That looks really, really good. All right, on to the super fun part. Now, installing the new acrylic marquee is a little bit of a pain on this arcade cabinet, unlike other marquees that we've been able to swap on other cabinets, because you do need to remove your side panel on the cabinet, so you do need to take half the cabinet apart. A little bit time consuming. But once that side panel is removed, all we have to do is slide out the Arcade1Up marquee and then slide in Joe's. Joe's marquee is on the bottom. As you can see, the shotgun, Schwarzenegger are in their proper size and dimensions like they should be on the original arcade. You do have the Midway logo as well as the appropriate text on the bottom of the logo. This looks so much better compared to the knockoff marquee that Arcade1Up came up with. And of course, you just slide it in there and boom, you're done. Screw in your side panels, rebuild your cabinet, and you're ready for the next step. After I got the cabinet built, I went ahead and I put the new Midway side panel stickers on, and that's kind of where they went on the original arcade machine, so that's kind of where you would want to place it if you want to get as close to the original arcade as possible. And as you can see, looks great. And the smaller white Midway sticker goes right above the T2 logo on the kickplate. This will match kind of where it was exactly on the original arcade machine as well. And once again, looks great. No complaints. And oh my god, here is that new Terminator 2 marquee from Szabo's Arcades. This looks phenomenal. This looks fantastic. Oh man, and don't worry, there's no light bleed on the bottom. Once again, that's that little white text that was on the original marquee. But as you can see, guys, the blacks are black. Arcade1Up just doesn't know how to do this, man. I don't know why, but Joe Szabo does. This marquee looks fantastic. I did pay for this marquee out of my own pocket, and I think this was $40 well spent. I'm very happy with the way this looks. And when it comes to mounting the Terminator 2 topper, it couldn't be simpler. Just peel off the little red strip that covers that 3M layer of, adhesive sticky tape strip that's on there, and mount it right along your front edge of your arcade machine. With the angle of the light bar and everything, that's all molded on there. That's all one big mold. You're ready to go to plug it in and power it on. Okay, let's go ahead and do some light testing here. This is kind of in a mostly, kind of medium to dimly lit room, and we're adjusting the little sliding bar on the dimmer switch, going all the way up, all the way down in this particular room lighting to see how it looks. Obviously, when it's way up here on maximum, it kind of makes it a little bit too bright. You definitely don't need to have it on maximum if you're in a room that's got some decent lighting going on, or I should say medium lighting. You're probably going to want to turn it down to maybe, I don't know, 20, 25%, quarter turn, something of that nature, and it'll look really good and it'll pop on top of your arcade cabinet. Now, a lot of us, you're in your arcades, the arcades might be pretty dark, so this is what it's going to look like kind of in a dark room. And let's kind of play with this dimmer switch and see how it's going to look if it's in a predominantly dark arcade and gaming room. As you can see, darker room, obviously better, and it lights up and it looks fantastic. So if you have a ton of lights on, like I had a ceiling light on when in the prior segment, in this case, I don't have any ceiling lights on. I literally just have the arcade turned on, plus a couple of small lights in the background, and as you can see, it looks beautiful. You can crank it all the way up, and you'll see it kind of illuminates the wall behind you because it's a pretty bright light bar. I found that if I'm in a dark room, a predominantly dark room, having it at around 50% like this, more than sufficient. If I'm in a room that's already pretty well lit, probably only need to have it at about 20, 25%, something of that nature. And it just kind of balances out. As you can see, that's the lowest setting. That's not bright enough. So definitely want to have it hanging kind of around the middle, and I think you'll be pretty happy with it. I know I am. Overall, after I ordered that marquee and paid for it out of my own pocket, when Joe told me he would go ahead and send me the Midway stickers as well as the topper for the purpose of review, I have to say I was pretty excited to receive them. And as always, guys, I do my best to give you my honest opinions, and I think that these are definitely pretty awesome mods, totally optional mods, up to you for your Arcade1Up Terminator 2 cabinet. But I want to know what you guys think. I mean, look at that. That looks sick, especially when you have the right light setting on the back. I want to know what you guys think. Leave me your comments, feedback below. If you enjoyed the review, give me a thumbs up on the way out. And as always, my dudes, thank you for subscribing.